what did your first season look like then? So obviously, what's the rookie season look like as an athlete that you are?
It's hard to explain. I think a lot of I almost wish that like I'd had a camera crew with me for it. Just I think because people would find it interesting to see what happens behind the scenes. In fact, I got a message, an email not long ago from a video production company that did work for Netflix, and they were asking me about like if I do like a follow along thing. But that was like before. Well, it was in the middle of COVID, and I was like, well, there are no contests right now, but maybe they'll be back in touch. I don't know. But
if anybody's doing a Netflix like I'm filming that,
yeah, I'll get you it. I'll get you in Georgia.
Mate, that Netflix money's got to be better than Spotify money, hasn't it? Let's be honest. Tiger King is balling in prison.
No, if it's like if it's like TV, man, they'll try to pay me nothing. Yeah. But so the way it works is pretty much like this. So typically, you can approach Major League Eating, right, which is think of it as like, you know, NBA or Major League Baseball or something like that, which is a business, but also a body which you know, officiates and controls the sport of competitive eating. Now, I'm not the guy that's going to convince you it's a sport, but that's at the elite level. That's how people treat competitive eating, right? You talk about a top 10, certainly a top 5, but you can approach them, or they can approach you and offer you like a contract, right? It's a heavy contract. You have to sign this contract to compete in their events, which you waive like image rights and stuff. So like there've been a couple of times, twice actually, that I've been asked to do like a TV show in America, like just a one-off kind of a performance thing. Yeah. And I've said to them, like, you have to run it by Major League Eating first because they own my image rights in North America. I'm okay over here, right? But and then they've become like disinterested in it because of that, because MLE might want to take a cut or whatever. But to me, that's no big deal because I'm not in it for the money, and I don't really worry about any limitations it might pose. I get to compete in these contests, right? So you sign a contract, and it's a long contract. You committed for 3 years, so you can't do any other kind of contests with other, you know, like amateur things. So you could, like, I could walk to maybe an amateur contest in a pinting contest or something, a local village in America, and probably win it, and maybe win 100 quid or whatever. But you're not allowed to do that if you're a Major League Eating athlete, if you want to call it that. I don't know. But if you compete with them, you can't do that, right? So there's a bunch of limitations, and once you sign, then you start doing events, right? So most events, they'll like be posted they tend to happen at the same time of the season, right? Season runs pretty much from March through to about October, November sometimes.
That's a long season, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, they tend to just avoid like the really cold months, I think. I think there might be one contest in December this year, maybe. But typically March through to, you know, late or early winter. But and if a contest comes up you want to do, they'll post a newsletter out to all the eaters and be like, right, this contest is coming up. This is the prize money. This is these are rules, etc. This is the food, and you'll say like, I want to do it, and then based on your ranking, wherever you ranked, you might get knocked back from a contest if you're not high enough up the rankings, and there's only certain like that's never happened to me because I'm ranked 11th, right? So typically,
get in here, start windmilling, number 11 in the world.
Well, it's not really that good, 11, but so if most contests have about 10 places at them, right? So unless everyone in the top 10 is turning up, then maybe I get knocked back, but it's not happened to me yet. And then you start doing competitions pretty much.
So do they, obviously when that newsletter comes out, they're saying, right, it's oysters or whatever, and that means that, right, I need to start practicing for this one. Is that the idea? They give you like...
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming up, but then 3 weeks ahead, however long. Yeah,
you pretty much know like the big events are going to pretty much happen every year, right? So oysters pretty much in the normal, again, like pre-COVID, post-COVID, you would expect the oyster contest to be in May. I think that one is. Right. There's croquettes in March, and there's going to be Nathan's in July, poutine at the end of the year, and all the other ones. But yeah, you never really know that they're going to happen until the event's agreed and stuff. So
do they like fly you out then? Do they pay for your flight out and say how does it work?
It depends on the size of the. So Nathan's, you get flown out and you get accommodation stuff, and some of the big ones will fly you out if you're a decent enough draw, for the crowd to want to see. But like most of them that I did in 2019, which is my first season and only season so far,
shit.
was I was on my own dime, right? So I never made money from it, even if I did well, right? So like even if, because my goal was like to place at contests, which means come in the money places, right?
Yeah.
So most contests will pay first down to at least fourth usually, and then some of the bigger contests might pay fifth and sixth. But to me, I always want to come like top four,
Yeah.
you know, because then I think, well, at least I've won a bit of cash, you know, because the most I won in 2019, I think I won $800 at the Oysters contest because I came third, which is my highest finish at that point. But like it's in New Orleans, right? So like the plane, and I took Mrs. Beard, right? So the plane tickets were.
So you'll spend more on that in garlic bread?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's no joke. So yeah, but I'm not really in it for the money. I'm there for.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's an opportunity to like meet people because fans will come out and.
I suppose you're quite lucky in that sense that you've got your other. I mean, YouTube's your own rights, and you earn a bit of money off that. So like you can afford to do that as your full-time job as well as then go do this. Where I guess some of the eaters won't be. They'll be working full-time, will they?
Yeah, that's the thing is like if you think people often ask kind of like how much does a competitive eater make, which is a bit like asking what does a tennis player make. You know, it depends how good you are.
Yeah.
So like somebody like Joey has a YouTube channel, but he doesn't upload to it regularly. He's not. My main thing is making YouTube videos, right?
Yep.
And I'm a competitive eater second to that,
And a podcast host full-time.
and a podcast co-host. Yeah. But so Joey's like the opposite of me, right? So he's the majority of his money he makes from competing at contests, but that's because he's the best in the world. If people don't know who Joey Chestnut is, by the way, he's like, imagine like the Roger Federer of eating or something. You know, he wins. He doesn't win every single event, but he's ranked number one, and he'll win lots of prize money. If you think about Joey, especially because he's domestically,
Yeah.
I've got to fly out there, right, to every contest. If you're Joey, you got to drive there or be driven there, and he'll be chauffeured out to every event probably because he's the best, right?
Roll out the red carpet. He's like the Ronaldo of.
Exactly, right? So he can go to an event like, if there are 40, he won't do every one, but let's say there are 30 events in a year and they pay out $5,000, or Nathan's like 10, 12 grand, whatever that is.
I was right. That was my next question. What is the highest purse for a competitive?
Nathan's is the biggest one, and the purse for that is actually, it's weird because Nathan's is the only one which is divided between a men and women's contest, which is strange. I don't know why they do it that way. But so I think 12,000 quid to win Nathan's, I think,
Right.
in both the men and the women's,
Yeah.
and then it'll pay out like well to, you know, second. Like I did fucking awful at Nathan's, right, my first time, and I came like 10th out of 20, which I mean is probably dictates my ranking quite well. I'm ranked 11th, right? But I did really bad. Like I could have done way better than I did. But even for that, I think I got $300 for
Right.
coming like 10th. So I'm like, I got it in the mail. I'm like, why did I get this? You know, I did so bad. But like, so first, second, third, it's thousands, right?
Yeah.
But like a lot of some of the smaller contests still play out well. You know, like I think poutine was 5,000 or something like that. So like if you're somebody that can definitely, you know, you can go to an event and definitely win it, or definitely be in the top two,
Yeah.
then you could make, because Joey's like, that's his full-time thing, right?
Wow.
But most of the, like outside the top three or top five at least, well, yeah, top three even, you can't make a living from it, you know, because expenses even aside, you're not going to be able to, unless you're really, really good. You can't, most people can't compete with you know, Joey, and there's a guy called Jeff Esper, Darren Breeden, Matt Stoney. But even, I mean, like Matt's, you can at least beat Matt, right? But there are most of the people in the top three are kind of almost untouchable.
Matt Stone is coining it on both sides though. Like his videos on YouTube will do like millions of views overnight, and then obviously if he can rank as well in the top places, he can earn on both sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's miraculous that Matt even comes to that. Speaks to his character actually, because he's such a nice guy, Matt. But I remember I asked him, I think at the poutine contest in 2019, I said like, why do you still do contests, Matt? You know, and I think he genuinely does it just to meet people. You know, like you know, the people that watch his channel, it's an opportunity for him to, like, in a controlled environment. He's doing some eating, right? So people can watch him and support him on stage. Then afterwards, he can say, you know, spend a little bit of time with fans and stuff, which is nice. But yeah, for him, I mean, the prize money compared to what he will be earning on YouTube is absolutely minuscule, you know. So, but a lot of people that do it because they have a passion to compete or something.